let me finish myself. Okay, what I want you to do is not quite read my mind, but listen to everyone and come close, and then we'll just and we keep moving forward. And if your skill set is different, give them away back with me.
We're live? All right, we're live.
That's what I care about. And if you need instruction, more instructions you need.
All right, guys, go ahead and grab your pizza. Settle down. We're getting started.
We're still really on. That's awesome. And I'll tell you, I've never ever.
Wait for all these cool people to sit down. There's plenty of seats in the front. I don't bite. And you just
I don't know.
yeah.
It's still not going to be a full. It's still not going to be a full. It's not going to be a full.
All right, guys, welcome to this month's GGDA meeting. Hope you guys are really excited for the presentation we got planned for you tonight. My name is Sarah. I'm the president of the Advancement of Women in Gaming organization here in Atlanta. I also work for Tripwire, so I have a quick Tripwire announcement. Got a plug for my company, obviously. So this weekend, free Killing Floor 2 for anybody who wants to play and hasn't had the chance. So go play it. We want your feedback. And then on to the next big announcement. I was the president of the Georgia Game Developers Association Atlanta chapter for the past year. And due to job, I can't really continue to do it. So I'm here proudly to announce our two new co-presidents. We have Paul, and then Ryan's our co-secretary. And I'm going to let them take it away.
All right, thank you, Sarah. So, unfortunately, Andrew cannot be here today. He's currently out of town visiting family. So, he has elected me to do the announcements. I'm sorry for each of you. Starting in July, prices for seats registration will go up by about 10 to 20%, so just be aware of that. So if you want to go ahead and register for a seat while it's kind of cheap, go ahead and do so. Next month's meeting for the GGDA here in Atlanta will be at the Microsoft Innovation Building at the Flatiron Building.
Yes, the Flatiron Building at the Microsoft Innovation Center at the Flatiron Building. So if you guys don't know where that is, it's downtown, right next to Georgia State, at the corner of Woodruff Park.
And the topic that we'll be discussing there at that meeting is developing VR games.
It's also going to be, sorry to cut you off, it's going to be very limited attendance because of Flatiron City. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, like RSVP, like now.
And this meeting's for members only. So if you're not a member, I'm sorry, so I suggest you go ahead and get your membership. Terminus is this weekend, starting Thursday, and goes to Saturday or Sunday. There'll be various talks from various people from here. Molly's going to give a talk, right?
I have two panels.
There'll also be other people there, such as James Simpson from Cell Block Games, and I think Ron Jones will be there as well, right?
Yeah, I'll be around.
All right. For Columbus, for the people that are watching on stream that are at the Columbus area, your meeting is going to be on June 28th. I'm assuming at the Columbus State University. And your game's going to be talking about how can games prevent a war or something like that. I'm sorry. There are other things in my mind, and I'm pretty bad at this.
Just roll with it, it's fine.
SimFest, or the Columbus Interactive Media Fest, is also going to be at Columbus State University on July 16th. The entire day. There'll be various speakers there, including Jesse James Allen, from formerly at EA, and a bunch of other people such as Scarlett Dangerfield from Hi-Rez and others. So early registration ends July 2nd, so register as soon as you can. If you can't register, then you can always sign in at the door. Also, Jacob and Scott's studio, Sovereigns, just also announced that their game, Ethereal Legends, is going to be launching in Q4 of this year. Woo! So good job. Looking forward to your release. And as Sarah said, this weekend, Tripwire is also having their free weekend to play their game. So go out and destroy their game.
One quick little add-on, I'll cut you off again. Sovereign's game, Ethereal Legends, their Steam page is up, so you can actually go on there, add it to your wish list and all that, follow it. So go do that.
We have like 500 people.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
Yeah!
Same.
Now, Molly also has an announcement to make if she wants to go ahead and come up and make it, or she can stand there and make it.
I'll do it. I don't know where the camera's going. I'm Molly. I'm the chair of the IGDA Atlanta chapter. The IGDA is the International Game Developers Association. We are outward facing, and we communicate mostly globally with other chapters and run events bi-monthly here. Our event this month is June 28th. It's at Peak 10. They were gracious enough to sponsor, and it's 3 game design focused micro talks. I'm going to give a sneak peek of the speakers. I said I wouldn't announce them yet, but we're going to have Andrew Greenberg, and so if you want to hear the head of the GGDA talk about design, which is awesome because we don't hear from me that often talk about that, you should absolutely come. We're also going to have Thomas Holt from Hi-Res. So that's really exciting, and we'll have one other speaker, though I'm not ready to announce that speaker yet. I have 2 other announcements, but Andrew didn't know about them.
Where's yours?
The IGDA also has a scholarships program. We just closed scholarships for GDC Europe and Gamescom, but if you want to go to Tokyo Game Show or CDEC, you can still apply. Go to scholars.igda.org to apply. If you have any questions, you can also talk to me afterward. I'm happy to talk about that. And also, our Atlanta chapter is running Game Studio Smackdown again. This is the 2nd annual year in a row. If you don't know about that, we have game studios around here compete to the death, I guess is the best way to say it. We'll announce what the games are, but you still have time to vote on what the games will be. To do that, you just need to join the IGDA Atlanta Facebook groups, and there's a poll. I'll bump it. We've already had a lot of votes. It looks like Rocket League might be one of the games. So yeah, vote. Thank you.
Also, Steven from the Athens chapter also has an announcement to make.
Hey, so on Monday night in Athens, we're having a playtest night for a game called Mageling by Familiar Games. It's a dice activation card game, and they're going to launch a Kickstarter at the end of the month, so they're really trying to test it out and get feedback. So if anybody's willing to come to Athens, we'd love to have you. Thanks.
Any more announcements anyone needs to make? 1, 2, 3. All right, silence. All right, thank you.
Does everybody know us?
I hope so.
How about you give a quick introduction?
Well, for those who don't know me, I am sorry that you do know me. I am Paul Bartlett. I was just recently announced one of the co-presidents for the GGDA after Sarah resigned. If you want to know more about me, feel free to talk to me afterwards.
Okay, and I'm Ryan Menz. I've been a GGDA Wallflower for about over 3 years right now. I've served with these guys over here on the AV team, did some stuff during Siege, and I'm the other co-president for the Atlanta chapter now after Sarah stepping down. So cool, really excited to serve you guys, getting to meet all y'all. I'm kind of shy, but don't let that deter you. I'm really excited to meet all y'all. So
He's excited. I'm not sure about me. All right. So this meeting, we'll be having Matt Woomer, as soon as he's done bringing chairs here for all the people that are standing up. He will be giving his talk on how he got his game, Brawlhalla, into esports, and what direction are they going. Huh? Okay. Matt is the co-director and creative director at Blue Mammoth Games.
Hey everybody.
So take the floor.
Thanks. Hey everybody, I am going to figure out how PowerPoint works. You get to see my very first PowerPoint presentation. I'm not actually kidding about that. So is there like a start button?
Bottom right view. Go to view. Control bar. View on the toolbar.
View. All right, here's a view. There it is. All right, and does this,
You can click and it'll move.
this advances it? All right. All
Or you can use the arrow.
right, that's what I'm good to go.
There it is.
All right. Thanks everybody. So we are Blue Mammoth Games. We are about 16 of us, pretty much entirely in this corner over here. We started in 2009. Myself and Lincoln, who's still working, we were developers. I'd worked at Hi-Rez. I'd worked at Cryptic Studios out in California, working on an MMO called City of Heroes. And yeah, thank you. And we, Lincoln also worked on City of Heroes and made a World of Warcraft site called Arena Junkies. And we pretty much decided, I think the story I tell is that I've been working in AAA games, and I realized that I had been working on 2 titles longer than I had been in college and high school put together, and decided that maybe that wasn't the way I wanted to go about it. So we started Blue Mammoth, and this was in 2009, and we were self-funded, and it was just the 2 of us. And yeah, there it goes. So the business plan in 2009 was that we were going to make an MMO of our own, but the plan is that we were going to make an MMO with a very small team, and the way we were going to do it was by being a side scroller. We were going to make a game that in the background did not know that it wasn't World of Warcraft, and the servers didn't know they weren't City of Heroes, but in the front end was, as you can see, a much more lightweight side-scrolling look, and that was kind of how we were going to be able to do it with a small team. So we started doing that in 2009, and that went well. We started out with the idea that we were going to put it on the web. Like at the time, there were games like Club Penguin, things like that, which were just $5 a month, and we were like, hey, that sounds like a great idea. We'll just do $5 a month because, hey, we're not 3D, and it'll be great. In that time, free-to-play took over the world, right? And it took over the world in a way that was more like the Wild West, right? It's like there were no rules, no one knew what to do or how to do it, but they knew that the games that weren't were struggling and dying, and so you kind of had to figure out what you were going to do. So we shifted a little bit, and here's a screenshot of Dungeon Blitz that I took today, actually. See, there's still a lot of people playing. But we put it out on Facebook, and it's on the web, and it's on Congregate. And that was the idea, was we pivoted to be a free-to-play game on Facebook and the web. So by this time, we had grown up to 3 or 4 or 5 of us, all of whom are still around here. I think they're around here somewhere. Oh wait, we get to the part of the story of, we made an extremely good game. We got literally millions of players, and we were not making enough money on free-to-play to pay the bills, which is kind of like welcome to free-to-play, right? This is the conundrum of sort of our age as game developers, is like, how do we handle people's really dramatically changing expectations of how they are going to pay for their games. And that's showing up in all sorts of ways. It's showing up in free-to-play, it's showing up in people making games for the App Store and being told they need to charge like $1.99 is too much, they really need to go to 99 cents. It's a real challenge. So we had Dungeon Blitz, we had lots and lots of players, we had lots and lots of dedicated players, but we were not experts in getting them to give us any money. So let's see. So then this brings us up to 2011, which is why we're in this office. Xavient invested in us and now owns half of Blue Mammoth, and really came in with, we are going to support you guys, and you guys figure it out. And that was a really fantastic position to be in, and one I highly recommend. So we came here, and we went from 5 of us in my basement. We grew up fairly quickly to 10, 11, 12. Let's see. And we went to work on how are we going to turn Dungeon Blitz from a game that everybody likes and lots of people play and play passionately to a game that all those things, plus they give us 50 cents a month. You know, we're not talking like that they had to do. If we could just get over that hump. And so let's see, we went about that. I'm not really sure what these next slides are. Oh yeah, we added housing to the game. So we added okay, well there's housing in the game, and that is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to build your house in the game, and you build it up, and you get magic spells, and you do all this kind of stuff. This is sort of the project of 2011 and 2012. We did events. This is our Halloween event. It was a really great event. It was a lot of fun. We really got the players excited. We added lock boxes to the game. Yeah, that's right. That's where you go when it's time. Lock boxes did okay, you know. But the real bottom line was that we designed the game, we built the game with one business model in mind, and we changed on the fly, and it never completely worked. And so Dungeon Blitz, this is the map of the top world. We're in a situation where Dungeon Blitz is a fantastic game with 700,000 monthly active users, but it is an MMO, and to be an MMO, it needs content. And it needs content, it needs continual content development, and we just weren't getting the money that we needed to continue to put content into it. So we kind of needed a new plan. If you can see the Dungeon Blitz, it's like each one of these little buildings is a dozen like custom built adventures with dungeons that we have to build, and monsters and stories and levels and XP and loot and everything. And so we're like, all right, what are we going to do next? What if we set aside Dungeon Blitz, kind of let it flow, and we worked on something else? Now, one thing, this is Steampunk Rocket. Steampunk Rocket, just one of it's a placeholder for the half a dozen or more games that we just played around with the idea of making. It's like a world exploration. You're flying around space. We had tons of these. This is the one that's got the most traction by far. And you can see this is a very early prototype. Maybe it's happening, it's some sort of fighter. It's happening in space, maybe, with a little guy and a little robot, maybe. And you've got, you're making your own character, and like in Dungeon Blitz, you can swap out all your parts, and you can make yourself a cowboy, or you can make yourself into a, I don't know what that is, a leprechaun. Swap all this stuff out, you make your whatever character you want, you know. And then you're fighting with all these different weapons, and it's fun, and the prototype is getting to be fun, and the guys who are working on it, at this point, I was not working on this game at all. This is entirely other folks in the company, a lot of them are here, are building this prototype for a fighter that basically they want to build, and it's getting fun. And you can see down here, you can't read it, but I've left it up here because it's pleasant. So, Arena Blitz, and then here's the votes of people who think that that's a good name for a game, right? Battle Planet, here's somebody thinks it's a terrible name, somebody thinks it's an okay. Battle Buddies, Battle Stars Arena, Knockout Arena, Ring Out Rumble, Rocket Punch, Rumble, Ring Out, Rumble Star, Rumble Stars, Showdown Arena, Throwdown, Showdown. We're working on a name. It's kind of the theme at this point. And anyway, so this game was the one that has become the game that we are working on right now, which is Brawlhalla. So this is 2014, mid-2014. We have a nice prototype of a fighting game that we're building with the idea of building it online. We used the engine from Dungeon Blitz. We built a fighting game. We have the prototype, and we took it to PAX East this is in April of 2014. And this, so you can see here, this entire stretch is our booth with a giant sign, because on the other side is Lichdom. I don't know if you guys remember, Lichdom is the game that Xavier made. Again, I highly recommend the process of getting to be with somebody who's just going to help you out and support you and be like, hey, yeah, sure, take a gigantic chunk of our booth at PAX East because we just want to see you succeed. So, so we took it to PAX East, and that was where we kind of figured out, okay, this is really going to work. This is going to be something that we can develop and run with, just from the reaction of people, and that little headline is still the one that's on our Steam page. Of just people liked it. So we moved to a model where the characters are more defined characters. We moved to the model of it's more of a, here are the characters, you pick legends, and the legends have the names, and they have stories and their particular characters instead of you're assembling. We moved to a model where we are, and we looked around and we're like, all right, so here is the plan. It's going to be an online first game, and we are going to know before we do anything else what our business model is going to be. Because that was the heart of problem with Dungeon Blitz, is that we made a lot of decisions about how Dungeon Blitz was going to work under a business model that went away, right? And so basically, Travis and Chris over there from Hi-Rez, we said, how about we do what Smite does? Exactly. So the idea behind Brawlhalla is that it is a 2D fighting game similar in sort of spirit to Super Smash Brothers on the Smite model, where we're releasing characters on a regular basis, and we're releasing skins for those characters, and it's free to play. So we got it up. We got it up on Steam. This was, I guess, in July 2014. We got it on Steam. We got people started to play it. We got a closed beta going, and that was good. And then in November of 2015, we went out of closed beta, which was this section, and we went into open beta, which is this section, which is better. And so so you can see this. What this is these are peak concurrent each day. So you can see that basically each of these peaks represents a week. That's a weekend. That's a weekend. That's a weekend. That's a weekend. And so that's been going since November, and that is sort of the next interesting thing about being a free-to-play game, which is when you release. Let's see. Here is okay. Well, just real quick. So here's where we are in sort of the ecosystem of Steam. Up here is, like, I just took this screenshot in the middle of the day today. Here's Dota 2 and Counter-Strike and Team Fortress, and this is how many concurrent players. And we're down here. Here we are. We're right here. So we're in the top 50, but sort of in the 40 area of concurrent players, and that's usually where we sit most of the time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So then the other thing that's going on, again, this is just getting us up till now. We're going to be on PlayStation, and that's what we're working on. So the PlayStation release is coming later this year. This was cool because this was the PSX they were announcing us. I thought that was cool, so I put it up there. Everything's going pretty good. Let's see. Oh, okay. Then, so that gets us up till now, and then just a few weeks ago we announced the Brawlhalla World Championship, and that's going to happen in November. And so what we're going to do is we will be at the Cobb Energy Center. No, not the Cobb Energy Center, the Cobb Galleria. And we will have a convention and a community meetup and a big 1v1 and 2v2 tournament and we'll have a big prize pool. And this is sort of the course. The PlayStation and this are continuing to do releases and characters is sort of how the next year is going to go. So that kind of gets us up till now. And how long was that?
Half an hour.
You're about 20 minutes or so.
Okay, good. All right, well, I'm going to do that one more time. So, all right, so real quick, if you haven't played Brawlhalla, just here's kind of what it looks like. You come in, there's the different ways of playing, online, custom, ranked. Then we have sort of the area where we show you what we are, what we're emphasizing, story, community, telling you about the tournaments, doing all this stuff. The game is at its heart a online game. You're set in your region of where you want to fight. You can play it offline, but it's an online game. At its heart, this is cool. We have a replay system, so that's what that slide is, which is super duper cool. We've recently introduced things like the clan system, again, sort of emphasizing that this is at its heart an online game. This is your inventory, emphasizing that this is at its heart a free-to-play game, and we really, really want you to buy taunts and other fun things, and your knockout effects and your special insignias. So this just emphasizes the degree to which each of our characters is a unique character. We write a story for them, we set them up, we spend a lot of time thinking about how they look and sort of where they sit in the world. It's very much a character-based game. We need people to be excited about each character release. So each time a new character comes out, we really need them to be excited about that character, which has been an interesting process. We're up to, I think that's 24 characters total. And then, so all of that is free, 100% fully free. Yes, Brawlhalla, that was adorable too. And then we sell you skins, right? So here's the base character core, and here's Armored Core, and here's Molten Core, no relation, and here's Core Wrecking LLC, and here's your little guy that helps you when you come in. He carries you, and you can skin all these, and that is how we are making money and paying the bills. Here's just a few more slides for people who haven't seen the game. You can make game rooms, you can join private game rooms, you can go and just get to any public, people can set up public games that you can join, or you can just jump into the queues and play in the queues, either 1v1 or 2v2 or free-for-all, another mode called Strikeout. There's a few other queues, and a spectate mode. Here's if you just jump into custom games, somebody makes a custom game, you can go and find them and jump in. And that's what's going on. And we do one update every week, a major update every month. So this is a new update. This 2 weeks ago was this major update, where we released a new character with a new kind of weapon that he has, gauntlets. He's a golem. And so that, you can see they're all 24 characters, and you're making a character, and you're jumping free-for-all. And that is a picture of what the game actually looks like when you're actually playing. And this guy about to land on mine there. It's probably me. And here's in this particular match, I got into sudden death with this person. That was kind of cool when they knocked me out. And then you can see other sort of characteristics of free to play. We're encouraging you to level up your character. You're getting gold when you level up your character. As you level it up, as you get the gold, you can then use the gold to permanently buy the character for yourself. We really use that more as a sort of retention mechanism. A game like League of Legends, the amount of gold you get does not hardly ever add up to enough to actually buy a character, unless except for the few small characters. We don't do it that way. We are giving you gold with the idea that you'll play and unlock characters as you go. All right, so that is the game. And this is the last section, which is what are we going to do now? So we're in an interesting spot now. We have a game, we have lots of players. In fact, just yesterday we had our 3 millionth player, which we thought was cool. And that's about 750,000 monthly active. And so that's plenty of players. It's not, so what we need to do is figure out how to sort of convert lots of players in enough money to keep the company going, which is going certainly far, 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 far better than it was with Dungeon Blitz. But you know, we're not like getting rich or anything, but it's going well. And then figure out how to take that player base and sort of turn it into something that is permanent. You know, it's like if you talk to the high res guys and you get them in a quiet moment, they're like, people will never stop playing Smite. Doesn't matter what we do, they'll never stop playing. So we need to get ourselves to that point, right? Where there's a big enough community and enough time and people are excited enough that there is not a way of petering out. Because here is the business model. You can see here, this is when Mortal Kombat comes out on Steam. The peak concurrent is about 13,000 people playing. This is back in whenever it came out in 2015. And then, it sells a bunch of copies, and then the number of concurrent players goes down and down. This is correct. This is what they intended to have happen, right? They sold a whole bunch of copies of Mortal Kombat, and then it went down, and then they sort of sit down here, and they still sell some copies of Mortal Kombat, but maybe 1,000 people are playing Mortal Kombat at any given time, or 500 or something on Steam. That's the business model, that's the plan. They'll do it again for Mortal Kombat 11, right? And then here's the same thing where Street Fighter V came out, it was all followed almost exactly the same pattern. They sell, they have the release, it's a very movie-like business, right? And free-to-play just can't do that. That is a failing business model for free-to-play. So what free-to-play has to do, and this is us, so we release, and this is that same graph that you were seeing before, so we release here, we get up here, and we have to sustain. We have to keep people coming back, we have to keep people excited. Obviously, the fact that it's free makes it easier to get new people, to get people coming back. But it's still a challenge, and it's one that our graph has to look like this, right? It's totally fine with Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat for them to have 500 or 1,000 people playing concurrently. We can't. We need 10,000 people playing concurrently every day in order for our model to work. And so the rest of these slides are going to just go through kind of like what we're planning on doing, how we're going about it, how all that's going. So this is just a slide that's like, that's just that graph you see. This is the people at any given moment playing a fighting game on Steam. Most people are playing Brawlhalla. We're playing any fighting game on Steam, which is cool, but we have to do that. But here's people playing free-to-play games on Steam. And this is not Brawlhalla, this is Dota. And this is Team Fortress, and this is Unturned, and this is Warframe, and this is Clicker Heroes, and this is War Thunder, and there's Smite, and way down here, right there, is Brawlhalla. Right? So, yeah.
At least you're on the chart.
Visible. So visible, thank you. So you can kind of see how how our world is right now, where it's like we're a big chunk of all fighting game players on Steam. We are a tiny chunk of all the free-to-play players on Steam. And if you take out Dota and take out the Valve games, this is what it looks like. It just kind of makes it a little more manageable. Kind of what you're looking at. That we're about right here. But you can just see that there is a whole world of free-to-play games out there. But the good news is that this means there's room to grow. It again sort of like it gets at the heart of what our challenges are. So how do we go about it? First is we're constantly releasing characters. got to keep people excited. Every month we're releasing character. This is when the character Core, the Golem, came out, and it was just fun because I jumped into a player game and all 8 people were playing Core. Events. This is the same events that we're doing in Dungeon Blitz, but now we're doing them in Brawlhalla. That's effective. It's really a great way to kind of keep people coming back, get people excited. Again, kind of working on those concurrency numbers, not just to like, hey, come back to play some more, but also making sure people that understand this is a game that you're going to continually support, that we're going to be there, you know, we're going to be here this Christmas, we're going to be here next Christmas, so, you know, jump back in. Obviously the skins are the way that this is just a concept sheet for some skins for Azot, our little skeleton dude. And yes, number 3 is cool. Yeah, number 6 is already out.
Yeah.
He's very reasonably priced, I'm just saying. But then the other thing about skins obviously are how we make money, but skins are also, every week we're releasing 3 new skins. It's a way, again, of making sure that people know there's going to be more stuff here, there's going to be more stuff to come and look at. Come on back, we're involved, we're here. Esports. So this is interesting. This is a world for us that we are learning, and we're learning it fast, we hope, because the tournament scene around Brawlhalla has sort of grown up in a way we are not directly supporting, we're helping, but a lot of it sort of just started to happen, and we kind of ran to catch up with it and get out in front of it because it seems to be going well. So anyway, this is also what we recently announced, VCX, which is the big $50,000 tournament that we're running in November, and then what we're doing is we're up to that every week, all through the summer and fall. We are having weekly $1,000 tournaments, and again, the purpose is to communicate to the community that we're in it. You know, this is now, these tournaments are happening. It's something that is worth it to you guys to stick with, because we're going to stick with it, right? We're not going to come out with Brawlhalla 2, we're not going to do any of these things. This is it. Stick with it. So that's sort of like the core message there. But also we're super excited about it because it's a whole lot of fun. Here is the ranked, which is just another aspect of the esport aspect of the game. This is currently the #1 player in the world, is a guy who plays from Russia, which is kind of amazing. And there's a lot of other characters there. But these people are, in a lot of ways, our core community. They're the people that we are most involved with. They're people that we need to keep happy, right? They're evangelists for the game. They're representatives of the game. It's important to kind of be paying attention to what they are doing, what they want. This was interesting. The idea of getting players sponsored by competitive organizations. This was some of our first players to get sponsored by Kingdom Esports, and so trying to figure out what to do with that, how to correctly encourage people, and how to encourage organizations to take a look at us. You know, part of it is that regular tournament series. Part of it is encouraging these community tournaments and figuring out what the best way to encourage them are. And then there's conventions. Conventions have been great for us. They've been a great way to get the word out. One of the important lessons for anybody making a game is that no matter what you think is going on, no one has heard of your game and no one cares, right? And so the convention is a way to tell people about the game, and also a way to just remind yourself that even though you have a community that's talking to you and is excited and is fired up, remember, no one's heard of your game and no one cares. And so that's what we do. We get out, we go to, let's see here, the PAX, like this year we're going to PAX South, South by Southwest, PAX East, MomoCon, RTX. Then we'll be going to RTX in July, PAX, Dragon Con, and then we started going to fighting game tournaments. That's been a lot of fun. And this is our primary marketing budget. We don't have any sort of marketing budget in terms of advertising or anything along those lines. It's just getting out there and showing the game. I don't know what the point of this slide is, except there we are. Yep. Oh, I remember what the point of this is. This is the interesting problem of, how am I doing on time? Going.
7:41.
All right. This is the beginning of, all right, so you go to Steam, you got the Steam community. And this is like in terms of how you support your community, how you kind of get out there and help, you get out there into the Steam community. Dealing with the fact that if your game is live and you're involved with it, you have to deal with the fact that people are angry at you. This is our first political cartoon, I think. You can see the whole, I think that's, I don't think the guy knows it, but that's me. Let's say it's more skins, and there's Dave, and there's Manny, and there's Exhausted, and there's one of our characters who's asking for buffs, but we don't want to give them buffs because we're too busy making skins because we're so lazy and greedy. So that is, so I don't really have any answers on that except for just, you know, like Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse, be polite, you know. Always be nice, always think about it. So this has been fantastic, you know, on YouTube and other places about trying to find ways to encourage your community and also just letting your community do stuff for you. Because one of the sort of the lessons that we've definitely learned is that the community wants to help and they're good at helping if you just figure out how to let them. So that's been a fun project of figuring out what the best way is to encourage people to help and to help them help you. People making tutorial videos. Oh, here's where I was going with the Steam thing. So we've got Steam, we got the Reddit page, which is a lot of fun. We got the Facebook page, which is okay. We've got the YouTube page, which is, you know, again, a lot of fun for us to have. We've got the Twitter page where we're keeping up. And you start to kind of get busy with all the social media and all the different ways that you need to kind of be out there talking to people. And again, the theme with this is to help your community help you. You know, we have the wiki going on. The wiki is pretty much entirely community supported. We've got people running tournaments, and when they're, I just love these guys. These are community guys, and they're wearing suits and ties to cast the tournament. And I'm just like, I love you guys so much. That's so cool. They're just in it. And this is our weekly dev stream. That's been a big sort of touch point, and this is something I very much encourage anybody who's working on a game, even a small game, to do. Twitch has really been illuminating for us in terms of building our community and just having so what we said is we said, okay, we're gonna stream every Tuesday at the same time. Doesn't matter whether we have anything to say or not. We're just gonna stream, right? And everybody's gonna know that that's when we stream. And you know, we streamed to nobody for a while, and I mean, really, we really streamed to nobody, and that sort of thing, that sort of consistency, it builds up and it pays off, and Twitch is is definitely a new kind of way of engaging with your players and your community, and being consistent with it is something that has been a discovery for us, and we think it's worked out really well. The web page, again, sort of dizzying array of things that you're having to remember to go and communicate with people, but we're getting better at it. We've got our community roundups, our patch notes, other things. This is just because we've just been getting a lot of community art, fan art, stuff like that, and I put it up here because I just love it so much. And I just grabbed just a few things out of here, but there's just tons of it, and it's a blast, and it's a real. It's fun to see, and like trying to figure out ways to encourage people, and you know, one of the best ways to encourage people is just to see it and shout it out. You know, you're like, wow, this is great. This is so cool what you guys are doing. So the last character we released. So we released the core and everything. The community really kind of let itself go on that one, but I liked it. So there it is. So this is another spot where the community is really getting in and helping us help in all sorts of ways. The skin contest, this is a community design, community thing. Again, trying to figure out ways to encourage that, help us out. This is the BCX. It's going to happen in November. We totally would love to have volunteers. We are away. Thank you. That's one. That's two. Okay. This is something that we're going to need help with. We'd love it if anybody is in that mindset. Let's talk. Shoot me an email. I'm matt@bluemammoth.com. It's coming up. Oh, there's this last point, almost done, which is one of the challenges we have is that no one's heard of us and no one cares. Is getting any kind of traditional gaming media to notice us, write articles about it. I don't really have any point with that, except I like the headline. And then the final thing is just make sure, like one of the things again for like having your community. This is Dan. Dan's back there somewhere. Yeah, there's Dan. So Dan for Halloween made himself into Trucker Boat Bar, which is pretty awesome. And then there's Lincoln. The co-founder Lincoln just always looks like that, so everybody took their picture.
No effort required.
But that is, I mean, obviously the whole have fun thing, but in terms of having the community, like having fun is a way to help your game because of the way that the community gets involved and the community sees that. But anyway, that's, I'm winding down here. That's where we're at, that's what we're working on. We'd love to have help in November. For anybody, and that's where Blue Mammoth Game's at. So thank you guys very much.
Does anyone have any questions to ask Matt while we have time?
Questions, comments? Here. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, first question. How did you come up with the name?
Blue Mammoth. I was expecting the Brawlhalla, but Blue Mammoth. It's cool, you know. No, I'm serious. It's like it's like big animal, but it's blue. I don't know. It's just cool. You know. I mean, I love Castle Crashers, and Castle Crashers is Behemoth, so maybe that's where it came from.
And for the console port of the game, do you plan to have it where the servers are with the Steam servers, so you can buy?
Yes, that is exactly what we want to do. We still have to get Sony to want to do it enough to do it, you know, in terms of getting the sign off on all that kind of stuff. But we are cautiously very optimistic that we're going to be able to do it that way. So yeah, we're super excited about it.
And the question was very well asked is, how did you come up with Brawlhalla?
Oh no, I don't know how we came up with Brawlhalla. I just wasn't expecting it. I don't know. I mean, you can see there, we struggled with the name. We sat there and we were like, okay, we have this game and we love it, and we think the name is dumb. The name, you know, it's like, Rumble Stars would have been okay. It would have been fine. Throw down, shut down. Actually, maybe we've been better. I don't know. We just sort of.
Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff.
Just curious. So you said you started in 2009.
Yes.
How long before one of you, two guys in 2009, right?
Two guys in 2009.
How long before one of you guys quit your day job?
So we actually were in a good spot. We kind of got lucky. Just financially, we both were able to quit our day jobs right away.
So you self-funded, you had enough?
We had enough to self-fund. Lincoln with Arena Junkies had an income
Okay.
from Arena Junkies, and so he was able to quit his job. And then I had a little bit of money from Cryptic Studios about that time, sold to Atari.
Okay.
So in both cases, in neither case was it a ton of money, but it was enough to
Sure,
like
cool.
quit and be like, okay, we can go for a year and a half if we we're close, if we
And
tied.
that's the follow-up question. How long between starting and even seeing your first die come out again?
Right, so a long time, a very long time. So our whole idea of, okay, our business plan is there's two of us, and at the time, just two of us, let's make an MMO is not a plan that I to anyone at all. It's terrible. You know, we had seen it, we thought we could do it, and we did it. It just, we did it we thought we could do it in the 18 months of money that we had. This is a whole other talk that we do, which is the world of raising money, which is, we did raise money. Yeah, raising money is a whole another topic I want to get on, but the short version is that before Xavian, we raised money basically from also friends of ours in California. But in all cases, it's, you know, enough money to pay salaries and things like that level. Dungeon Blitz did not even have a chance to start making money until late 2011.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Notice SiegeCon wasn't on your list there. So.
We went to SiegeCon.
I know
We
you
did
just
SiegeCon.
didn't list it. No. When it comes to cons,
We'll be there.
yeah, I expect you to. So I met you in 2015 at Dragon Con. So November that year is when you started seeing your spikes. How do you feel the cons that you participated in made a direct impact on your popularity?
So that is a fascinating question and one I'd like to know. We feel like it did a lot. We are a big believers in conventions now. We can't prove it. What we can prove is that when you go and your face is there, A, you get to show the game to lots and lots of people, which we think works. But what we know works is that you're there and you start making contacts. Streamers are at cons, and streamers love to be, it's like you just want to get to know them. You want to have personal relationships. You want to be like, you know, here's some codes, try the game out. We got a very early player of Brawlhalla was Bajira, who's a World of Warcraft player and a relatively big streamer. And he found the game at a con, and we have lots and lots of stories like that. So I recommend particularly PAX, and the reason I feel like everyone at PAX really wants to be there, you know, because tickets are hard to get, and so it's just a very high density of very passionate gamers, streamers, you know, writers, stuff like that. But yes, we're a big believer in cons. We can't prove it, but we believe it.
Good enough.
So, what's the name of your YouTube channel, and what do you guys use for streaming?
We just stream straight through Twitch. Our YouTube channel is Brawlhalla. We don't really do anything through Blue Mammoth. Everything is Brawlhalla.
Okay.
You know, our main webpage is Brawlhalla. Our YouTube channel is Brawlhalla. Our Twitch channel is Brawlhalla. Our Twitter is Brawlhalla. We were Blue Mammoth devs, but that's basically I put up a thing a while back that just says go to Brawlhalla. That's not, you know, go to our Twitter channel Brawlhalla, because that's where we are.
Okay.
You know, but,
and one more thing.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any plans for interns in the future?
Yes, we have had a few interns. We've had several interns actually, including a few who are now full-time and Blue Mammoth people who we are absolutely delighted with. So yes, shoot me an email if you want to be an intern, and we can talk about things.
Programmers, artists?
Yes.
Both? Everything?
Well, programmers and artists, if you're not a programmer or an artist, tell me why you should be an intern. Not in a cynical way, I mean, tell me what you want to do, why that would, what we need. what you want to do here. If you're a programmer, I'll tell you what to do. But yeah, interns has been really good for us, and we've had people come through and they've had great experiences, and then sometimes there's a fit in terms of timing and stuff like that, and we've been able to keep people. But yeah, big believer in interns.
Molly?
Hey.
Hey.
Do you have PR people on staff or marketing? Anybody in marketing on staff in Blue Mammoth?
Very recently, we have hired a full-time marketing person, Raiden. I don't know if he's still here, Dan. We hired him out of the community. He was basically our most dedicated YouTuber, one of our top players, and we hired him up out of the community. And then we also have now hired, very, very recently, David, who is basically handling all of our esports stuff. And he is also a top player and let's say a passionate streamer and tournament organizer and stuff like that. And so that's kind of where we've had luck there. Because we're all programmers and artists, we don't necessarily know how to hire a marketing person, but we can recognize someone who loves the game and is super enthusiastic and smart, and so that's kind of been our plan. Is how we kind of gone about that.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to answer any of this. It's
Okay,
this
well, I'd answer.
I was curious how long you stayed in closed beta, how many people were in the closed beta, because I know everybody has different parameters for what they're looking for their key performance indicators. And then the other question I wanted to know was I know y'all buy ads because I've seen them. When did you start? Well, it was a while ago. I don't know if it's recently, but when did you start running advertising? Was it the same time you started your open beta, or did you get featured?
I don't know that we bought ads, or if we have, it's been a long time. We might do Facebook ads but they're small, so you must be like the world's most targeted demographic. Facebook is content you will love. because basically with Dungeon Blitz, we did buy ads for Dungeon Blitz, and we saw, so just to kind of talk about that whole marketing world, for Facebook, we bought ads, but you can play Dungeon Blitz on Facebook, and so they were very successful. Then for Brawlhalla, we tried buying ads on Facebook, and it was just nothing, because you have to leave Facebook to go, is our theory, which I'm almost 100% sure that that's the reason. But basically, there was no win there. So we might still have, so I might have been lying, we might still spend, but it's in the range of, it's in $50 a month, that sort of thing, to just kind of maybe keep a trickle to find the people who really, really are going to love Brawlhalla and give them an ad. But as far as key performance indicators and closed beta, I don't know the answer. We entered in closed beta in April of 2014. No, November 2014, I think. And we were in closed beta for about a year. Going into open beta, I don't know that we were looking at our player numbers because you had to sign up for closed beta. I think we were kind of looking at how far along the game was. But I will say that I believe in Steam Early Access. Steam Early Access was definitely, we are still technically in Steam, not just technically, we are still in Steam Early Access, and even though we're in open beta now. And we, maybe things have changed in the last year, but we really felt like Steam Early Access was good for us. It allowed us to get a lot of players trying the game, testing the game, get that sort of core community, get a lot of feedback, and it, honestly, people are just more forgiving in early access. I remember when we first started getting our Steam reviews, when we were in early access, and the Steam review would be, the networking is crap, and the game crashed, and all the characters are all unbalanced. Positive. That does not happen anymore. That was strictly a closed beta But, you know, because it's a person who was invited, they wanted to come, they wanted to be a member of the community, so they yeah, that's not so much.
So how do you, now that you're in competitive and there's money on the line for some of these people, and obviously they'll be taking it very seriously, how do you balance gameplay elements between the average bulk of your players and the most hardcore? Like, do you only cater to the best of the best, or and encourage emulation, or?
That is really hard, and I let MC do it.
I guess the short answer is you do need to do both, since like 90+% of your players are going to be at that low level. But the way that their gameplay works is so vastly different that you almost balance different powers for different players, and there's not a ton of overlap.
We have time for 2 more questions.
This is just a creative question. If you had like Bill Gates money, what kind of game would you make? Like, what would Bill Gates money game look like?
I don't know.
Any heroes?
One of them would look like Brawlhalla. I don't mean that obnoxiously. I mean, it would. I'm super happy with how that's kind of gone. No, that's a good question. I'm gonna think about it. Brawlhalla and an amazing version of Bomberman. Jack.
So there's been a lot of marketing and questions on there, and advertising specifically. But when you look at your CCU chart, and when you were in closed beta with Brawlhalla, it was really slow. Really, like around, you said about 500.
Yeah, we around like 500 concurrent.
And then once you hit, I guess it was open beta,
yeah,
it spiked up really high. And then additionally, throughout the release, the CCU numbers peaked a couple of different times.
That's right.
Is there anything that in particular that you did around the release or the open beta and any of those other times that kind of drove more CCU than any others?
So you have touched upon a fascinating problem that I think about every day, which is the core way of kicking up that CCU. The games that succeed in increasing their CCU, free-to-play games, are generally not games that have sort of a steady, slow this. What they do is they succeed in the art of being steady and then having an event, having something happen that kicks them up, and then they come back down, but not to where they were before. And that is sort of the way of going about it. It's what Team Fortress did, it's what Smite has done, it's not, a lot of these games do, is so you have to find ways to this continual support that's keeping your CCU flat, and then finding things to do to kick it up, and then making sure your game is structured in such a way that it kind of catches the people when it kicks up. So to answer your specific question around open beta, that was just going open. It was going open, and then on Steam we got some, when you go into open beta, Steam gives you some support of being on the front page of things, so that kind of got things kicked off. One of the kicks was just, for some reason, more people play free-to-play games in January. I don't know why, but it just kicks up. They get tired of their Christmas games or whatever. But everybody, all the free-to-play games see that kick. And then that kick we didn't maintain because we went back down to where we were. We had a big kick in April that got us up to a very high concurrent user. However, that was different because that was our April Fool's event, where Dan put a cookie clicker in the game. It's just a straight up true story. He just stuck a little button in the corner of the game, and you clicked on it, and it was cookie clicker, and our concurrency numbers went through the roof. So we weren't able to keep that. And then our most recent one was around releasing the new character with the new weapon, core, and then we did a lot of changes to the layout. And so that's what I'm hoping. We've done 2 weeks and we went up, we were sitting at around 8,000 concurrent peak on a weekend. We went up to 10,000 concurrent weekend, and we settled back down. We settled back down to 9, and it's been 2 weeks. So I'm hoping that between the new character and the new layouts and some of the new stuff that we've done, the clan support, that maybe we can hold. But yeah, it's a super, super interesting problem. Trying to figure out how to do that, and we might be out of time.
Yeah, we're out of time, unfortunately.
All right.
So thank you all for coming to this meeting. Thank you. I have 2 more final announcements. One's related to the other one. For those that can't make it to SimFest, you can still, their panels are going to be recorded and posted on YouTube. So if you can't make it, feel free to go to there and watch them. And also, the Columbus chapter meeting is also going to have a Smash tournament for both Wii U and Melee, each for $2 on July 29th. So if you want to participate in a Smash tournament, there's one tournament coming up. All right.
Yeah, let's give just one last shout out to Blue Mammoth for hosting this and letting us rate their fridge and all that jazz. So thank you very much. And again, final reminder, next GGDA meeting is going to be next month at Flatiron Building, hosted by Microsoft. It's going to be VR. It's GGDA members only, so definitely RSVP if y'all are interested in that. Thanks for coming out, y'all.